Well, rain chances are on the rise as we get ready to finish this first full week of July. We're tracking that next plume of moisture working into the area as we're heading in towards Friday and Saturday, but keep in mind we could even see a few scattered showers by tomorrow. We'll give you a closer look at that future tracker. That's next.
A parasite spotted in 17 states is now in Nueces County. What you need to know to prevent explosive diarrhea.
Grab your hat and your appetite, because today's recipe is a ranch-style favorite.
Good morning, everyone. You are watching Chris 6 Sunrise on this Monday morning, waking up with the Hoffman singular as Michelle has a day off. I'm Brian Hoffman.
Well, hey there and happy Monday. Coastal Bend taking a look at some of our weather headlines as we're heading into this week. You can see we are going to be on the warm up. Plenty of partly cloudy skies expected as we're heading into the afternoons especially, and that's going to help our afternoon highs get right back into those low to mid 90s. Even expecting some of those mid 90s here in Corpus Christi as we're going in towards the end of the week. We're going to watch this next plume of moisture working back into the area. We're still going to have some high pressure overhead, but that plume of moisture looks like it's going to lead to some increased rain chances as we're heading in towards Friday and Saturday. For your Monday forecast, we're on the warm up though. We talked about those partly cloudy skies. That's going to take us right up into the upper 80s and then the lower 90s as we're heading into the afternoon. Expecting about 92 to 3 degrees here in Corpus Christi, with winds still going to be out of the southeast closer to that 10 to 15 mile an hour mark as we're heading into the afternoon, with gusts upwards of 20 miles an hour. In terms of the heat risk, holding on to that moderate heat risk across the entire area today, and pockets of that major heat risk doesn't get too much better into tomorrow, so want to bring that extra water bottle along. We'll take a closer look at that future tracker coming up. Well, a couple of things to know before you hit the road as we're heading out there today. Still dealing with some of those lane closures along Highway 77 south of Kingsville. Something to keep in mind if you're planning any travel to the valley. Either way, we're hoping you have a safe drive on the roads this morning and a safe Monday, Coastal Bend.
Nueces County is ranking high on the Texas Department of Health and Human Services list of most impacted by the parasite causing explosive diarrhea. Nearly 150 people have fallen ill with 20 hospitalizations, but the CDC says that number is likely higher. Now, cyclosporisis, that's the result of a single cell parasite that infects fresh produce through contaminated water. No specific food has been tied to the cases, but basil, cilantro, and berries have been cited in past cases. You can avoid infection through proper washing of produce with clean water or cooking the food to kill the parasite. Health officials say that there is currently no evidence of a single outbreak to link all the cases.
It could be easy to see this building and see nothing more than an eyesore. But for the people who grew up here, they say this is where they made friends, they learned, and they made memories to last a lifetime. I'm Jada Jenkins on the North Side with why many in the community hope this building's next steps is something the community can be proud of.
For more than 2 decades, Crossley Elementary has sat vacant on the North Side. But now,
motion passes. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
The Port of Corpus Christi is set to buy the property and demolish what's left.
This is part of history. A building like this should be tore down.
Former student Michael Murray says the school was built in 1926 and was one of the only schools in the area serving students of color. It closed in 2001 due to declining enrollment and has since seen severe fire damage.
Make me want to cry because nobody want to fix this up. Everybody want to tear it down.
When I reached out to the port, they said there are currently no plans to redevelop the site.
What's something that you want them to do with this building?
That's a question I've been asking all day. And it's one that's now spreading online. A Facebook post with more than 50 comments shows former students sharing pictures and memories from their time at Crossley.
For it not to be rebuilt, not to be made a historical landmark.
Angela Portis Woodson taught there from the 1980s through the 1990s. She says even as the city changed around Northside, she could tell the school's future was uncertain.
The way that the city continued to move through Northside and take over the neighborhood, I knew that it was going to happen at a certain time.
Now, former students and teachers say if it is torn down, they hope whatever comes next still reflects the history of the area.
Because there are no set plans for this property as of now, I'll continue to follow any new developments. On the North Side, I'm Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
The Nueces County Sheriff's Office still needs your help to solve a 26-year-old mystery. This is a facial reconstruction from a skull that was found on May 16, 2000. The remains of a juvenile female were found on a creek bed just east of the intersection of County Road 97A and FM 3088. If you think you might know who this is, call up the Sheriff's Office. That number is 361-887-2231. Well, if you're looking to fill up your vehicle this morning, this is what you can expect at the pump. AAA shows that you can pay an average of $3.30 per gallon for regular gas, $4.14 for diesel as a Texas average. In Corpus Christi, though, that average is $3.31 for regular, $3.94 for diesel. Work over at Bob Hall Pier expected to be completed by October. Nueces County Commissioner Brent Chesney says that they'll soon be looking for someone to operate it. New road work also expected to begin soon. As for the admission fees, well, Chesney says the county gave the public even more time than promised before starting to charge. It's going to cost $3 to get on and an additional $4 per fishing pole. Seniors, active military, and disabled veterans pay less. Kids 12 and under get in for free, and frequent visitors can buy an annual pass too. This could start mid-July. A Texas family was on vacation in Colorado when they received a devastating phone call. Their home was on fire, but with nearly all of their belongings reduced to rubble. Homeowner Amy McLean said that she made a shocking discovery: 3 Bibles still surviving in the ashes.
We did find our Bibles after we did some digging. My son's Bible actually made it through the smoke in there, but our Bibles are sitting over there. They're a little wet, but they made it. It's just ironic that the important things stayed and the material things are gone. It's just a proof that God does exist and He's number one.
Now, without insurance, the McMillan's family, well, they face a long road ahead, but they say that the community is helping.
President Trump is heading out of town Monday evening to NATO's summit at a time where allies have financially stepped up, but the administration says it's looking for more. The White House still touting last year's summit that created a benchmark of 5% GDP on defense. But this year, the focus is less tangible. As the majority of NATO is sharply focused on potential threats from Russia, the Associated Press says in a meeting with the NATO Secretary General, President Trump is still upset about allies not joining the war with Iran more forcefully. European bases did allow more than 5,000 American planes to take off earlier this year, but did not join in missions. Senior officials tell Scripps News they expect the Strait of Hormuz will be a topic of discussion, including their concern about having what they call capable allies. Senior officials say they won't prejudge a decision on whether to cut troops. Officials also say they believe allowing the United States to acquire Greenland is the best way to meet defense needs. In addition to group meetings with NATO members, President Trump will meet individually with the leaders of Turkey, Ukraine, and Syria. Alex Miller, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Good morning, I'm Del Walters. Here's a look at what's happening today. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is back in court on Monday. It's a preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson. Experts expect the prosecution to present evidence including video and forensic and digital material. Kirk's parents and his widow will also be there. Increased security is expected. U.S. men's soccer team taking to the pitch on Monday. They'll face Belgium with a chance to reach the quarterfinals. Should they win, it will be the first time since 2002. The game kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern in Seattle. NBA teams can start signing free agents on Monday. Teams already negotiating with the top free agents out there. The moratorium on officially signing them ends on Monday. LeBron James is the biggest catch. Less clear, though, where he will go. He's 41. Other big agents include James Harden and Draymond Green, but both are expected to re-sign with their teams from last season.
Chris Six, a part of the Scripps News Group.
All summer long, we've been getting emails and photos from you, sharing some of the places you've been while you've been on vacation. And what I love is hearing about all the places you've eaten along the way. One of our foodies shared an adventure that they had at a working ranch, which inspired today's recipe. To make it, all we do is saute some onions, peppers, and garlic until tender. Once they are, we stir in a can each of cream of chicken soup, in diced tomatoes, along with a bit of chili powder. While that heats up, we line a casserole dish with some corn tortillas that we've cut into strips before piling on some cut-up cooked chicken. We spoon about half the sauce over that and sprinkle on some shredded cheddar. Now, we repeat those layers and bake it off. Does this ever look good or what? It's layer after layer of everything we love. And let me assure you, it's hearty enough to feed the hungriest rancher. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call King Ranch Casserole, so you can have the big taste of ranch-style grub without saddling up. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a heartier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Researchers say a greener version of the Mediterranean diet could improve heart and metabolic health, even for people with certain genetic risk. Participants followed a plant-heavy Mediterranean diet rich in vegetables, walnuts, green tea, and an aquatic plant called mankai. It showed healthier folate levels and lower inflammation. The study also found the diet activates other pathways that support folate processing in people with a common gene mutation. Experts say the research highlights a growing role of personalized nutrition in long-term health. That morning cup of joe could come with a health bonus. New research suggests that coffee could protect your liver. A study found that people who drank 5 or more cups a day have a lower risk of both cirrhosis and liver cancer. That compared to people who drank just 1 or 2 cups each day. Heavy coffee drinkers had a 32% lower risk of sclerosis and a 47% lower risk of liver cancer. Researchers say coffee's antioxidants could be responsible for the effect. They also noted that people who drank decaf saw similar benefits. The study followed more than 350,000 participants for more than a decade. Doctors say it's still important to watch what goes into your coffee. Too much sugar and creamers can offset some of the health benefits. New research is pushing the boundaries of synthetic biology. Scientists say they've built a cell from scratch using only non-living chemical materials. The research team says that the synthetic cell can grow, process nutrients, and reproduce. Unlike stem cells, the project didn't use living biological material to create the cells. Scientists say that difference makes this a unique step in the field of artificial life. Experts believe synthetic cells may eventually help develop new ways to treat diseases. The team shared its findings in a paper released last week. The study is still in its early stages and has not yet been peer-reviewed or formally published.
Well, hey there, and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at our future tracker as we're heading through today. You can see how we're going to clear up some into the afternoon. Could even hold on to a couple of stray showers as we're trying to head into the afternoon. But of course, the by far majority of us going to be staying dry as we're heading through our Monday. Mainly going to want that umbrella for maybe some shade from the sun. As we're going in towards tomorrow, models this morning have started to indicate that we could start to see a few more stray showers. By tomorrow morning, some of those partly cloudy skies back down into the 70s for overnight lows, and then going into tomorrow afternoon, getting that daytime heating going, that's where we could start to see a few more pockets showing up on the radar of that rain showing up out there. So something to keep in mind, could see up to about 30 to 40% coverage tomorrow, although it's not set in stone as we're heading out there. Still not going to be that widespread rainfall. For today, expecting about 91 degrees, back down into those 70s tonight like we talked about, and then into tomorrow still holding on to those 90s for the daytime highs, about 92 with a few more showers on the board. Of course, we'll get you a closer look at that 7-day forecast. That's coming up.
Thousands celebrated the nation's 250th birthday at the nation's capital. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what sparked some fireworks online.
President Trump leaving later today to meet with European allies at the NATO summit in Turkey, a key moment for the alliance he's been critical of, while first gaining headlines over another international organization, FIFA. President Trump called the head of the body that runs the World Cup and asked him to review the suspension of the U.S. men's soccer team's star striker, Folarin Balogun. According to a source familiar with the conversation, Balogun was supposed to miss today's game against Belgium following a controversial red card in the last match. But now he's cleared to play. The president on Truth Social thanked FIFA for reversing what he called a great injustice. That after a series of setbacks for this weekend's 250th anniversary celebrations on the National Mall. A storm threat forced an evacuation, pushing the fireworks until around midnight, right after a speech from President Trump that was part patriotic.
We're celebrating freedom's triumph over tyranny.
And part political.
America will never be a communist country. Won't happen.
Adding to his pre-midterms messaging about what he sees as far-left influence and using the moment to push the Save America Elections Overhaul bill he's made his top priority, despite Senate Republicans saying it doesn't have the votes to pass.
All voters must provide a little thing called proof of citizenship. And there will be no mail-in ballots.
The Capitol's July 4th festivities marked by this controversial moment when members of a white supremacist group marched through the streets wearing masks and waving Confederate flags. And here, a woman surrounded by them on the city's metro.
Police say the group marched briefly around the Capitol and left before 11 a.m. Saturday. The administration's Interior Secretary Doug Burgum reacted, saying he could never possibly agree with what the group stands for, while underscoring foundational free speech rights that he said make democracy messy. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A Delta flight arriving in Chicago may have been hit by fireworks during its landing Saturday night.
And we're just hoping it was just the mortar that went off underneath, but definitely felt the big bang.
Yeah, there have been multiple reports, as you can imagine. The city's aware. They said they would notify the Chicago police, but, I don't know what they'll do.
Air traffic control audio captured the pilot reporting a loud impact as the plane descended into Midway Airport. The FAA is now investigating the incident. No injuries were reported.
Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, here in the Coastal Bend, it's been a couple of dry weeks, but what has it done for our lake levels? As of today, the combined levels between Lake Corpus Christi and Choke Canyon, 15.6%. Individually, Lake Corpus Christi, that's at 34.3%, while the larger Choke Canyon Reservoir, that's at 8.4% capacity. Nueces County Medical Society will host a walk with a doc on Saturday over at Water's Edge Park. The morning walk allows conversations with fellow community members and physicians. All are welcome to attend. The walk will start over at Water's Edge Park at 9 in the morning.
Well, hey there and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look at our Lion of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Nixon on the board, definitely looking festive for the holiday weekend. They're right here from Nueces County. Says his favorite place to take a walk is over at the Port Aransas Beach. And as we're heading out there, definitely holding on to some of the mugginess. Still 78 degrees at 7 a.m. up to the 87 degree mark as we're heading in towards 10 a.m. Winds today expected out of the southeast closer to that 10-mile-an-hour mark as we're heading into the later morning hours. Keep in mind those peak gusts this afternoon going to be chasing about 20 miles an hour. If you are finding yourself at the coast today towards the beach, here's that look at that forecast. Surf around 2 feet today. Winds still going to be out of the south about 10 to 15 miles an hour with breezes upwards of 20 miles an hour. High tide this morning 8:22 a.m. with low tide on the way at 3:07 p.m. For that 7-day forecast, here's how we're shaping up as we're heading through the week ahead, expecting daytime highs in the 90s for the whole 7-day forecast. We do start to see some increased rain chances into Friday and Saturday.
Good morning, everyone. You are watching Chris 6 Sunrise on this Monday, waking up with the Hoffman as Michelle has the day off. I'm Brian Hoffman. Now, we do have to check in on the weekly weather with meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, howdy and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look at our future tracker as we're heading out there today. Going to see those partly cloudy skies still into the afternoon and maybe even a stray shower or two. Of course, most of us going to be staying dry still. Just might be some good views as you're riding along on that evening commute back home. Either way, as we're going into the overnight time frame with all of this plentiful moisture in the atmosphere, that's going to lead back to partly cloudy skies. And the latest models this morning do want to indicate maybe a few more scattered showers as we're heading in towards tomorrow afternoon, maybe closer to that 30 to 40% coverage, so still not a huge widespread rainfall event with torrential downpours for all of us, but maybe a few more neighborhoods getting in on some of that action as we're heading into tomorrow. So for today, still expecting the partly cloudy skies and 91 degrees here in Corpus Christi for that daytime high. Back down to the 70s tonight for those overnight lows, but definitely feeling the mugginess as we're stepping outside. Tomorrow back to 92 degrees with a few showers on the board, and as we're looking at the rain chances through the next few days, we're going to start to see them peak as we're heading into Friday and Saturday. All right, a couple of tips before you hit the road this morning as we're looking at some of the construction updates out there. 181 east and westbound to the northwest of Gregory still dealing with some of that construction. Something to keep in mind if you're hitting that roadway. Either way, hoping you have a great start to the day and a safe commute.
Toddlers grew up without their brothers, and parents grew old without their sons. But the West Side community never forgot the 8 young men who lost their lives in Vietnam. I'm Jada Jenkins on the West Side with one family's story.
On the West Side, there's a park dedicated to 8 young men from the Molina neighborhood who never made it home from the Vietnam War. One of those names, Alfredo Castañón.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, no problem. Aww.
I stopped by the Castañón family home. I sat down with Alfredo's older brother Lee, who also served in Vietnam. He can still recall the memory of receiving the tragic news.
They were calling me to let me know that my brother had been killed.
Lee was the one who brought his brother's body back.
The first thing I said, what am I going to do? What are we going to do?
As he walked me through decades of photographs, newspaper clippings, and even Alfredo's high school yearbook, the memories kept coming back.
There was another guy from Corpus, and he was in trouble. He yelled for help, and he went to help him, and they both got shot.
Lee says before they were Marines, Alfredo was just a kid from the West Side.
A lot of people knew us because we were the paper boys for Molina.
Alfredo was killed before his younger sister Rosalinda was old enough to know him. But she says even though he never came home, he actually never really left.
He was always present somehow.
So I've seen a lot of pictures. Talk to me about this picture.
This picture.
She showed me what she thought was just another family photo until they realized Alfredo's portrait was perfectly positioned on the wall behind them, making it feel as though he was standing there for the picture. Now, with both of their parents and several of their siblings gone, she says that photo has taken on an even deeper meaning.
When we saw it, we were like, oh my gosh, this is truly a family portrait. We're here with our parents. And of course, we never really had that opportunity with him to take a family portrait in this way.
For the Castañón family, that's why places like Molina Veterans Park matter.
Everybody who was not exactly around when he was killed knows who he is.
Now that legacy lives here at Molina Veterans Park, where each branch, tree, and bench represents each of the 8 young men who grew up just blocks away and sacrificed everything to serve their country. On the West Side, I'm Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
The City of Corpus Christi will hold its 3rd budget development input session on Wednesday. The meeting starts at 6 p.m. over at the Corpus Christi Water Building in the Choke Canyon Conference Room. Officials will discuss the upcoming fiscal year 2027 budget. The development sessions, well, they're open to all residents. parasite spotted in 17 states, now in Nueces County. What you need to know to prevent explosive diarrhea. And brain injury is not stopping a Texas coach. How he's bouncing back with community support after a freak accident at a track meet.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Well, hey there, Coastal Bend. Starting us off with our Lion of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Nixon on the board right here from Nueces County. Says his favorite place to take a walk is over at the Port Aransas Beach. Hey, pretty good spot for it. Just got to watch out for some of those golf carts. As we're heading out there this morning, though, definitely feeling the mugginess. 81 degrees by 8 a.m. Up into those upper 80s as we're heading into the later morning hours with winds out of the southeast about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Those peak gusts this afternoon going to be closer to 20 miles an hour. If you do find yourself at the beach today, maybe for that Port Aransas walk for Nixon, keep in mind high tide this morning 8:22 a.m. Low tide going to be on the way 3:07 p.m. with that water temperature still in the upper 80s. So if he wants to get his paws wet, maybe not too bad as we're heading out there. On the 7-day forecast, though, we are still holding on to plenty of this heat. And of course, we're in summer now here in South Texas. 93 degrees as we're heading into Wednesday with that next plume of moisture on the way as we're getting ready to finish the week by Friday. That could lead to some more scattered thunder showers as we're entering the weekend, but still holding on to the 90s.
Nueces County is ranking high on the Texas Department of Health and Human Services list of most impacted by the parasite causing explosive diarrhea. Nearly 150 people have fallen ill with 20 hospitalizations, but the CDC says that number is likely higher. Now, cyclosporisis, that's the result of a single cell parasite that infects fresh produce through contaminated water. No specific food has been tied to the cases, but basil, cilantro, and berries have been cited in past cases. You can avoid infection through proper washing of produce with clean water or cooking the food to kill the parasite. Health officials say that there is currently no evidence of a single outbreak to link all the cases.
It could be easy to see this building and see nothing more than an eyesore. But for the people who grew up here, they say, this is where they made friends, they learned, and they made memories to last a lifetime. I'm Jada Jenkins on the North Side with why many in the community hope this building's next steps is something the community can be proud of.
For more than 2 decades, Crossley Elementary has sat vacant on the North Side. But now,
motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
The Port of Corpus Christi is set to buy the property and demolish what's left.
This is part of history. A building like this shouldn't be tore down.
Former student Michael Murray says the school was built in 1926 and was one of the only schools in the area serving students of color. It closed in 2001 due to declining enrollment and has since seen severe fire damage.
Make me want to cry because nobody want to fix this up. Everybody want to tear it down.
When I reached out to the port, they said there are currently no plans to redevelop the site.
What's something that you want them to do with this building?
That's a question I've been asking all day. And it's one that's now spreading online. A Facebook post with more than 50 comments shows former students sharing pictures and memories from their time at Crossley.
For it not to be rebuilt, not to be made a historical landmark.
Angela Portis Woodson taught there from the 1980s through the 1990s. She says even as the city changed around Northside, she could tell the school's future was uncertain.
The way that the city continued to move through Northside and take over the neighborhood, I knew that it was going to happen at a certain time.
Now, former students and teachers say if it is torn down, they hope whatever comes next still reflects the history of the area.
Because there are no set plans for this property as of now, I'll continue to follow any new developments. On the North Side, I'm Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
Portland city officials are stepping up mosquito control efforts after West Nile was found last month. The mosquito population exploded after recent rain. Public Works officials tell Chris 6 that the mosquito was found near Granby Place, but many residents say they were unaware of the case.
That is scary. That makes me want to stay inside all the time.
The mosquito was captured as part of the city's routine surveillance program. The city is reminding residents to get rid of any standing water around their homes, use insect repellent, and cover yourself properly to reduce their risk of mosquito bites. A quarantine is in effect in Jim Hogg County. Officials say it's in an effort to combat the New World screwworm. It requires ranchers to have their livestock inspected and treated before moving the animals out of the quarantine zone. Screwworm infection was confirmed in the city of Guerrera. No date has been given on when the quarantine will be lifted. Ranchers in the quarantine zone who attempt to avoid inspection, they face up to $5,000 in fines.
Protein is the hottest diet trend nowadays. You can find it added to drinks, chips, snack bars, even ice cream. But are they just adding to the price tag?
In just about every aisle, you can't miss the P word.
Protein across the front.
Protein is everywhere, in pasta, bagels, even Pop-Tarts. And while protein is important for your health, is all this added protein really worth it for your body or your wallet? We asked registered dietitian Kayla Pasquale.
Just because a product is adding 10 to 15 grams of protein doesn't necessarily make it healthy.
Pasquale says some foods, drinks, and powders also come with extra ingredients you may not want.
Sometimes you're getting things like sugar alcohols or other fillers and additives.
Often you're paying more, too.
One protein bar is around $4 each, whereas we have the deli sliced chicken breast over there. You could probably get 3 or 4 servings for just a little bit more than that.
A report from credit lender CoBank finds food products with high protein claims can cost up to 12% more. Check out these prices. A 10-count box of Eggo buttermilk waffles, $2.99. The protein version, $5.99. An 18-ounce box of Honey Nut Cheerios is on sale for $4.47. The smaller 14-ounce protein version, $4.97. Pasquale says you can get plenty of protein from meat and other whole foods.
Greek yogurt, cottage cheese.
Without paying extra for the label.
Lentils are a great source of protein.
She also recommends mixing up your protein sources, like shopper Deb Doroskovich tries to do.
I do like protein, but balanced out with vegetables and other good foods.
Bottom line, high protein products may be convenient,
But I feel like they're worth it. Like if you have a busy day at work or something.
but just know that extra protein often comes with a premium price, so you don't waste your money. John Matteries, Scripps News Group.
A Texas coach hurt in a freak accident at a track meet is now back home. Coach Blake Crutchinger was hit in the head with a shot put ball this spring. As Robbie Owens explains, his family says his recovery has been nothing short of remarkable, especially with the help, support, and love from the community.
I mean, with the brain injury, you just never know. He's done everything so much faster than anybody thought he would, and continues to do that, and to prove people wrong.
This is why the Crutzingers believe in miracles. Coach Blake walking out of the hospital 2 months after he was injured in a freak accident at a track meet. He was hit in the head with a shot put. His wife Leslie refused to believe that it was as bad as the doctors warned.
And they called me about 6:30 and said the swelling's not going down and we're going to have to do the craniectomy. So they removed part of his skull for that. It was terrifying. That was a long, hard day. Really long, hard day. But he did good.
The Crutzingers knew it would be a long road to recovery, but they also knew that they'd get there, one hug, one prayer at a time.
Faith. His family was so strong. They never fell apart.
Leslie kept everyone updated through social media posts sharing his progress. And when she learned that Blake was coming home instead of weeks or months at an inpatient rehab facility, well, the community moved quickly.
When we turned the corner and saw everybody in our yard and on the street, we both got very emotional. Like, I knew it was going to happen, but until you see it, he got very emotional. And I told him, I said, just be ready for what's coming.
Coach Blake still has lots of outpatient rehab ahead as he relearns those verbal skills. But when I ask about the family's message to the community, well, there are some moments that need no words.
We just want to say thank you. Everybody that has come together and prayed for him, I firmly believe that's why he is the way he is right now.
Mexico is out of the World Cup, and fans, they're devastated. England saw off an immense challenge for Mexico, beating one of the tournament co-hosts in their home stadium, too. Mexico lost 3-2. Fans in Mexico City left the stadium in devastation because the expectation had never been as high as this one before. Mexico arrived at the match after making history, winning 4 consecutive matches without conceding a single goal. And that's something that the national team had never achieved before. Well, the FIFA Disciplinary Committee had confirmed that the United States men's national team striker Florian Balogun will be eligible to play. A 25-year-old forward received the red card during the USA team's victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's July 1st. During that game, Balogun stepped on a defender's ankle and received that red card. The U.S. men's soccer team will face Belgium at 7 tonight from Seattle. Fans of the Dallas Star have been closely monitoring where forward Jason Robertson will end up since becoming an unrestricted free agent last week. Robertson filed for a salary arbitration Sunday, but before the deadline. According to ESPN, this means that left winger is no longer eligible to sign an offer from another NHL team. The 26-year-old will once again be an unrestricted free agent next summer.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Rockport, where a hard-working 15-year-old football player is facing the fight of his life after being diagnosed with a rare bone marrow failure disorder. His family is now sharing his story as they lean on the community for support.
He would come walking to the vehicle, he would just hold his head and he would do this motion like that. And I was like, what's wrong? My head hurts. I've been getting headaches.
Miguel Ibarra, known as Mikey to his family and friends, is a 15-year-old football player at Rockport Fulton ISD. Towards the end of April, head coach Eric Sosa says the team started to notice something wasn't right when Mikey's skin began to turn yellow.
One of our coaches noticed that he was kind of not feeling himself, and after a few days, he ended up sending him to our trainer here at the school district.
On May 26th, Mikey was diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia, a rare and serious bone marrow failure disorder that prevents his body from producing enough red and white blood cells and platelets to function properly. His mother says when he finally told her something was wrong, it was a wake-up call their family needed.
He's like, Mom, you need to take me to the doctor. I don't feel well. And when he told me that, I'm like, okay, something serious is going on.
For now, football has been put on hold as Mikey focuses on his health.
That position, the offensive and defensive line, they're the most unselfish group. And even at the freshman level, it's all about the team, and he's a very hard worker.
And Mikey was no exception on and off the field. Whether it was helping with construction projects, working as a busser to earn his own money, or volunteering after last year's Kerrville floods. Those who know Mikey says he never hesitated to help others. Doctors have since told his mother the disorder had likely been developing for more than a year before his diagnosis.
How did he have the strength to go through this? You know, I'm sure his body was tired and he was still pushing his limits. Football itself, the workouts, or this heat, you know?
Right now, Mikey is undergoing treatment to allow his body to begin producing healthy blood cells again. As he continues his fight, his mom is asking the community for prayers and wants to share one important message.
Listen to your kids and listen to your instincts when you feel your gut telling you, I think there is something going on. Just go check your kid or talk to them more.
If you'd like to support Mikey and his family as he continues treatment, head over to our website at christv.com for more information. In Rockport, I'm Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
Having a well-balanced diet is essential for everyone's health, and experts say children need 3 balanced meals and 2 healthy snacks each and every day to help manage their hunger. Mandy Gaither has healthy snack ideas to have on hand at home and on the road.
It
may be summer, but it's never time to break with healthy habits.
Healthy eating can be fun, and this is a normal thing, and it's not just something that's associated with going to school.
Registered dietitian Shannon O'Meara with Orlando Health says in between meals, healthy snacks can help stave off a child's hunger. Pairing protein with fiber promotes a feeling of fullness. That includes beans, nuts, seeds, milk, yogurt, cottage cheese, lean meats with fruits, veggies, and whole grains. Her first hack to having healthy snacks on hand at home or on a road trip is to make it easy. Cut or prep vegetables or fruit soon after you buy it, or have it pre-cut so it's ready to go when you need it. Try simple yet nutritious foods like apple slices and peanut butter, and have kids help build snacks. Teach them why eating the right foods is so important.
So really thinking about how can we encourage healthy eating, not as a punishment as maybe some people think about, but really as I feel so good when I eat these foods.
Making snacks fun also helps. O'Meara says themed snacks are always a hit, like ants on a log, which is celery, peanut butter, and raisins, or a healthy dirt cup with Greek yogurt, berries, and chia seeds. You can also make a kid-friendly charcuterie board or a snackle box, just like a tackle box, but filled with a variety of healthy foods.
If it is a burden for you, let's say you're not super kitchen savvy, just do what you're able to.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Corpus Christi police are investigating a shooting in Flower Bluff a Saturday afternoon. Investigators believe a vehicle left the Glen Oak apartment complex after the gunshots, then crashed. Investigators say no one was injured and no arrests were made. Nueces County ranking high on the Texas Department of Health and Human Services list of most impacted by the parasite causing explosive diarrhea. You can avoid infection through proper washing of produce with clean water or cooking the food to kill the parasite. Well, the city of Corpus Christi will continue spraying for mosquitoes today. This is going to take place over at the northwest area near CCIA, north side and downtown. Spraying continues through Friday. Nueces County Sheriff's Office still needs your help to solve a 26-year-old mystery. This is a facial reconstruction from a skull that was found in 2000. If you happen to think you know who that is, call up the Sheriff's Office. And if you're looking to fill up your vehicle this morning, this is what you can expect at the pump. AAA shows that you can pay an average of $3.30 per gallon for regular gas, $4.18 for diesel. That's at Texas averages. In Corpus Christi, the averages are $3.31 for regular, $3.94 for diesel. Pedigree canned dog food, high protein chopped chicken and duck flavor. It's being recalled for sharp pieces of metal and plastic. No injuries have been reported. Dog owners urged to throw out the 13.2-ounce cans.
Well, hey there and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. Looking at our forecast as we're heading out today, keep in mind we are going to be on the warm up with plenty of sunshine into the afternoon. That takes us back towards about 92 degrees or so for that daytime high. As we're going through the next few days on the 7-day forecast, still holding on to plenty of heat. 93 degrees as we're heading into Wednesday, and we're tracking that next plume of moisture by Friday into Saturday. That could lead to some more scattered showers back on the radar, but daytime highs still in those lower 90s. Either way, hoping you have a great start to the week and a great rest of your Monday, Coastal Bend.